This is a letter in triplicate to Western Electric, 2525 Shadeland Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana. Attention, Mr. A. Betts, B-E-T-Z, buyer. And add one of these 3 copies I want marked to the attention of Keith Weston. That's Mr. K.A. Weston. And send that in a separate envelope directly to his attention. The other 2 copies, of course, will go direct to Betts. And also make copies for Sherman, Sales, and File. Dear Mr. Betts, confirming that my telephone discussion with your Mr. Frank M. Adair today, we were certainly pleased to have the opportunity to arrange a meeting with certain people in your engineering group to discuss the Reed Prentice safety monitoring system that is now incorporated in our plastic injection molding machines. Paragraph. We would like to arrange for this meeting at your plant on May 3rd or 4th. May 3rd preferably. Mr. Adair felt that either of these dates would be satisfactory, but we would appreciate a confirmation as to the exact date. Paragraph. Our Chief Electrical Engineer, Mr. Frank Sinko, and our Chief Hydraulic Engineer, Mr. Bernard Olmsted, and myself will make the call, and I am sure that our new, quote, fail-safe, unquote, safety monitoring system should prove to be very interesting to all concerned, and we will look forward to receiving your confirmation. End of letter. This is a letter to General Electric Company, Home Laundry Planning Department, Building 1, Room 128, Appliance Park, Louisville, Kentucky, with copies to Sales Department, Sherman, Jerry Surois, and File. Attention, Mr. G. A. Polk. Dear George, in connection with your telephone call last week, I have made arrangements to have our service engineer, Mr. Jerry Surois, at your plant on Wednesday, May 4th, to check out your new Reed Prentice 275TA810 plastic molding machine. Paragraph. In all probability, Jerry will arrive during the early part of the day and will be able to spend as much time as necessary to familiarize all concerned with the operation and function of the machine. End of letter. This is a letter to Earl Rearwan, with copies to Sales, Sherman, and File. Subject to Yoda Diecasting, Dayton, Ohio. Jerry Surois and John Sakara made a courtesy call here on their way back from doing another job in Dayton, and they advised that Jim Weidman would like to have you send him the latest development information on the ceramic feed tube for their number 2G vacuum feed machine. Paragraph. Also, testing 1, 2, 3. They would like and name and address seal for the plunger tip that is now being used at Jet Guns. I believe that John Sakara had recently sent Homer Henley a piece of the packing that John got when he was at Jet Guns recently. As you can tell, I'm not sure about the complete details on this, but apparently this packing is standing up amazingly well. And if we can let Jim Weidman know where to buy some of this packing, he would be very appreciative. End of letter. This is a letter to J.D. Sherman with copies to Lawson Allen, Sales, and File. Subject, Hamilton Diecasting Company, 240 North B Street, Hamilton, Ohio. In connection with your letter of April 14th concerning the changing over of the cracked stationary die plate on this customer's diecast serial 66365, I believe that at last we have made definite progress towards their releasing the check for payment of the machine. Paragraph. I spoke with Tom Waltering today, and Tom advised
he would definitely send the check this week along with an explanatory letter covering the entire situation. We all realize that this changeover will have to be made as soon as possible, but we can't make a specific date because there are so many details involved, such as our arranging for the rigger to remove the old plate and set the new one in place at such time it is most convenient with Hamilton Diecast and ourselves. Paragraph. I will keep in close touch with Hamilton on this matter and make the changeover as soon as it can possibly be done. End of letter. This is a letter to Sales Department with copy to Sherman, Rearwin. File subject, Crosley Division, Avco Corporation, Richmond, Indiana. I spoke with Jim Crowell today relative to the ordnance program, offering him our services for a possible meeting to be set up later this week and have Earl Rearwin and myself give them more background on such a project. Paragraph. Jim advised that they had a brief meeting yesterday afternoon, last Friday afternoon, and after seeing our original quotations, about half of the management group were not in favor of their going into a die-casting setup. They feel now that perhaps they should purchase the castings on the outside rather than to go into it themselves, but this is not definitely decided, but probably will be before the end of this week. Paragraph. Jim also advised that if it were necessary for Earl and I to call, he would let me know within the next day or so. So if you don't hear anything from me by the end of the week, you can assume that the program has been temporarily shelved. End of letter.